My ex-girlfriend Lily was in a tough situation. She needed to sell her phone quickly to pay her rent. Lily had a hard time with her family and left home when she was 17. Although my parents couldn't let her live with us all the time, she stayed at our house a lot, especially on weekends. One night, she put her iPhone up for sale on Craigslist. I don't quite remember if it was the iPhone 10 or 11, but she wanted to sell it for about $500 to $600. Lots of people asked about it and wanted to check the phone before buying. Craigslist had a lot of fake offers at that time, but Lily's phone was real. Anyone could see that. Someone who seemed really interested in buying came by when I wasn't there. But surprise, it was actually a 13-year-old. They talked and settled on $400 in cash. When my friend Lily excitedly showed me the money the next day, she was trying to show off. But when I looked closely, something seemed wrong. The money wasn't real. Lily went from super excited to really upset, crying and yelling about being tricked by a kid. I got fake money from her, planning to deal with it later. I put it in my car's side pocket and totally forgot about it. A lot of time went by, and I got stopped by a sheriff on the highway because my brake light wasn't working. Sheriff wanted to look through my car, maybe using the trick of saying something seemed suspicious. I was upset and argued more than I should have. Police told me to get out of the car, and I did what they said because I didn't want to make them more upset. While they searched my car, another police car arrived. It looked like they called for more help because I was arguing with them. While they were looking, one of them discovered the fake money I had hidden and forgotten about. I felt really worried because finding that fake $400 was going to get me in serious trouble. They put handcuffs on me and took me to the police station, saying I was involved in making fake money or something bad. Everything happened so fast, and I didn't understand what was going on. It felt really strange because just before, Lily was tricked by someone with fake money, and now that same fake money was causing trouble for me. I was sitting there trying to figure out how everything got so bad when something unexpected happened. One of the police officers noticed that the money I had was fake. Turns out, they were looking into a bunch of cases involving fake money, and it was all connected. A few months ago, lots of fake money was being used in deals on Craigslist around here. They hadn't caught the people doing it until now. The police thought I was part of something fishy because they found fake money in my car. But they found out it wasn't me. They caught the actual people who were making and passing around the fake money. Here's the crazy part. One of those people who's friends with the sheriff's daughter put some fake money in my car a while back when we met at a gas station. He did it to make the police think it was me. It worked for a bit, but not anymore. When they figured everything out, they had to release me. The sheriff said sorry, and I was really surprised. It turned out that the problem wasn't mine. I was just involved by accident. It was crazy how things went from being stopped for a broken brake light to being accused of being part of a fake money scheme, all because of that forgotten fake cash. When I was 15, I used to drive my grandpa's old Buick. It was passed down to me, but I didn't really like it. I wanted a cooler car that suited me better, so I worked different jobs and saved money. I really wanted a Mustang. One day I saw an amazing deal online, a blue 2013 Mustang GT convertible with very few miles for only $16,000. It sounded unbelievable, but I was excited to go see it. I quickly called the number I found. After a few tries, a guy answered. He sounded a bit weird, laughing a bunch, but he told me where to go to see the car. The GPS took me far away from my usual neighborhood to a not-so-nice area. The house didn't look good, and I didn't see the Mustang anywhere. I stayed in my car, thinking if I should bother knocking on the door. A man who was older came out and waved to me. He seemed nice, so I went with him into his house when he said we could check out the car in the garage. But he didn't take me to the garage. Instead, he took me to an empty room where I heard strange sounds like someone fixing a car. He said it was just his friend, which felt weird. Later, I heard creaky footsteps upstairs, and he said it was his wife, but it didn't seem true. It made me feel really scared and uneasy. When he opened the garage door, there was nothing inside. That made me feel like something was wrong. I tried to leave, but someone was standing at the door, and another person came in holding a sharp tool. I got scared and quickly went the other way, finding the back door. I ran to my car, started it, and saw those bad guys watching me from the house. I made a rude gesture at them and drove away really fast before calling the police. I stayed near the house until the police came, but when they got there, nobody was inside. The house had actually been empty for a long time. I felt better that I was safe, but then something strange happened. A few days later, I got a text from a new number. The person claimed to be the guy I saw at the house. They knew things about our meeting that they shouldn't have known. It really scared me. I called the police again, but they couldn't figure out where the text came from. One night when I was with my friends, I got another message from the same unknown number. But this time, it wasn't just a weird message. It was a photo of me, taken from outside my home. I got really scared. I called the police again, and they said they were trying to find where the call came from. But it got even stranger. One day at school, I found a mysterious note in my locker. It was kind of secretive, talking about my car and house, and it warned me to stay away. I was super scared. I had no idea who knew this stuff about me or who was keeping an eye on me. I told my parents what was happening, and we agreed to get more help from the police. They started watching our neighborhood more closely, and we put cameras up at our house. For a while, things seemed better, and I felt safer. But one night, my mom got a call from a number she didn't know. She looked worried and gave the phone to my dad. After he listened, he looked serious and quickly told us to get in the car. It appears that the police figured out who was making those calls and texts. It turned out to be an old friend of my dad, someone he hadn't spoken to in a long time. This person had a problem with my dad and wanted to frighten him. Somehow, he discovered that I was using Craigslist, and he used that information to play tricks on us. The police caught him, and they found proof connecting him to the messages, the note, and the stalking. It felt good to finally understand what was going on, but it was also scary because he was someone we knew causing all that trouble. This experience taught me to be really careful online and to listen to my gut feelings when things seemed too good to be true. It was a crazy situation, but at least it came to an end. Before I continue to the next story, if you are interested in earning from YouTube without showing your face, or without making videos by yourself using artificial intelligence, like the video that you are watching right now, then I have a special free training for you. Check the first link in the description below to get instant access. A few years ago, when I was around 18, my friends and I wanted to rent a house for school. We found one a little far from campus, but things got crazy when one friend left right before classes began. I needed someone to take their spot and share the rent, so I put up an ad on Craigslist. The ad said they needed a roommate who could help pay rent. A girl from Spain staying at a nearby hotel replied. She seemed nice and said she liked the same TV show as the person who posted the ad. They decided to invite her to see the place. The next day, a really interesting Spanish girl came to check out the house. She was with a guy, but she did all the talking. I thought he was her boyfriend. She really liked the house, and we were happy to have her there. Later, she told us that the guy wasn't her boyfriend, just someone who came along after their flight. Turns out, he made her uncomfortable at the hotel by trying to get into her bed and acting really creepy. Even though she had a habit of making the kitchen messy by cooking with lots of oil, she was a good roommate. She stayed with us for the semester, but had to go back to Spain because her family needed her for their growing business. We helped keep her safe from a guy who seemed strange more than she knew. Once, when I was living with just my mom, we had a problem with our vacuum cleaner. Even though we didn't have much money, my mom really wanted to get a good one. So she asked me to search for a used vacuum on Craigslist. I found one for $40 close by. My mom wanted to come with me, and when we got to the house, it felt spooky. It was in the middle of nowhere, with gravel roads and a huge yard. We planned for me to quickly grab the vacuum while she stayed in the car. As I walked up the rocky path, suddenly, some angry dogs started barking and running towards me. They seemed unfriendly, like they wanted to attack. I quickly climbed up a nearby tree because I was really scared for my safety. It turned out that the person who was selling the vacuum had these fierce dogs running around without any control. Finally, the person called Sarah from Craigslist arrived. They calmed the dogs and got the vacuum. But before that, there was a lot of talking on Craigslist about when and where to meet and making sure everything was okay. It was stressful, trying to plan everything and stay safe. Mom got upset and scolded the guy who said sorry. Then we tried the vacuum and bought it. I was happy we left without getting bitten by the dogs. Mom told the guy he should be more careful with his dogs because they could have hurt someone badly. But wait, something surprising happened. When I was talking to the guy, he said someone was breaking into his online accounts, like his Craigslist one. It turns out he wasn't the person who first replied to my ad. Someone had hacked into his account pretending to be him. That's why things felt weird and unsafe at his place. He felt really bad about everything that happened. He said his dogs are usually good. Someone messed with his online stuff and it caused a big mistake. Mom and I were surprised but glad he didn't mean to put us in danger. It was a crazy surprise, all because of a vacuum cleaner. Life can be full of unexpected surprises, even when doing simple things like finding a roommate or buying a vacuum online.